I want to take an opportunity to acknowledge the good work of Michelle and the team here at the World Food Prize Foundation. Obviously, as everyone knows, this was originally scheduled for an event at the Peace Institute, and as a result of some decisions that were made, we had to shift pretty quickly to the Willard, so we really appreciate the staff's work and the Willard being willing to work with us. And I also want to express appreciation specifically for one of our 2024 World Food Prize laureates, Carrie Fowler, who I will be talking about in just a few minutes. Dr. Fowler, a good friend and someone who's been committed to this notion of food security and nutrition security, will be on stage here in just a little bit. But he has led an effort that we're going to talk about here today. I want to also acknowledge the opportunity for Senator Klobuchar and Senator Grassley to come here as well to offer their thoughts. And certainly I want to welcome all of the World Food Prize laureates and Nobel Prize laureates who are here today, who are part of this root awakening. Many of you probably know, but perhaps not all, that the mission of our World Food Prize Foundation is in part to elevate innovation and to inspire action. Action to sustainably increase the quality, the quantity, and the availability of food for all. Now, this mission is advanced in a number of ways, from awarding individuals who make exceptional advancements in the effort to secure global food and nutrition security, to inspiring the next generation of agriculture and food leaders through a series of youth initiatives. Today, we meet here because of another key function at the Foundation, to convene a diverse array of food system stakeholders at the global, national, and state level to deliberate on food and agricultural solutions to our security challenge and to mobilize collaboration to implement those solutions. Now, these dialogues started last year, and they seek to trace the pathway of Dr. Borlaug as he traveled the world to bring the best science to bear to address global food and nutrition insecurity. Today, we are here in our nation's capital, and in the fall, we are traveling to India. I think it's fair to say that we meet here today at a critical time of change and challenge. Understanding the extent of change only requires a review of the recent headlines. While a recent report from the United Nations Commission led by Kofi Annan outlines the extent of our collective challenge, hundreds of millions of people confront hunger each and every day around the world. Nearly 10% of the entire Earth's population today is malnourished and living on less than $2.50 a day. The challenge before us is even more daunting when you consider the impact of climate change on future food production. 2024 was the hottest year in recorded history, and January 2025 was the hottest month in recorded history. In seeking a way forward, we all might do well to remember the words of previous President Abraham Lincoln during another challenging time, when he said that the dogmas of the quiet past were inadequate to meet the stormy present. And in confronting those needs and challenges, President Lincoln challenged the country and the nation and all of us to think anew and to act anew. A combination of 153 World Food Prize laureates and Nobel Prize laureates, all thinkers, if you will, of the anew, recently issued an open letter and a call to action. And it's really the center of our convening here today. In that letter, as you will learn today, these individuals were calling on all of us to appreciate the need now for us to figure out ways in which we can increase substantially food production in a far more sustainable way. They reminded us in the letter that the world population will increase by another 1.5 billion people by 2050. And if we're to meet the food needs of all, we will need more and accelerated pace of research and development, of innovations that are tied to increased productivity and sustainability. We need those now more than ever. No easy task. The laureates are not alone in this call to action. Today, I'm pleased to announce that through the Foundation's efforts, we now have 117 organizations. I think you'll begin to see those organizations listed on the monitors. They include private sector companies, nonprofits, and other non-governmental organizations from around the world who have signed on in support of the laureates' letter and their call for action. During the course of this day today, some of those organizations will come and explain to you why they are motivated to do so. In doing so, both the laureates and these organizations have laid down a marker. There's no hiding from the challenge before us or the solutions that will be required. Now, if institutions, agencies, governments, NGOs, or universities or the private sector has previously answered the call to meet this challenge are no longer able or willing to do so, the onus is on the rest of us to remain engaged, to get engaged for the first time, to do more than we have ever done before. As the day unfolds, you'll learn about why the laureates issued the letter, what innovations and investments are currently being developed that hold great promise, what plans our Congress may have, and how the next generation is being prepared to meet this challenge. All of which we hope at the Foundation will motivate each and every one of us to think and act anew. When I was Secretary of Agriculture and talked about nutrition issues, I often relied on a story from my faith tradition in explaining how this could all work. It's a powerful story, one that many of you are familiar with. The notion that Jesus, after talking to the multitudes, realized that many of them were hungry and were about to leave on a long journey back home without food. He asked his disciples to essentially feed the people. The disciples were skeptical because it appeared that they had so few loaves of bread and fish, and there were so many to feed. But Jesus essentially suggested that they have faith, to share the bread, to share the fish. And indeed, the 5,000 were fed. And when it was all said and done, the leftovers were many, many baskets full. This is a powerful story of the power of community, of the notion that people who work together, who dream together, who plan together, who research together, who develop together, can in fact overcome any serious challenge before us. We're excited about the panel today and the conversation that will take place. We're excited about the opportunity for you to learn more about what's happening, but most of all, we're excited about the potential that will leave this day more committed than ever to doing what Dr. Borlaug has asked us to do, which is to feed the world, and in doing so, to rely on our farmers, our ranchers, and our producers to do so. Now, it's my responsibility to introduce Dr. Fowler, and I'm doing this in a sort of odd way because I'm going to introduce him, but he's actually not going to come up right away because they have to put chairs up here to be able to have him sit down. So my introduction will be short, but then the chairs will come up. You know, there's a lot of things you can say about Gary Fowler. I mean, obviously, he's a World Food Prize laureate. Obviously, his work for the UN, his work for the State Department, unprecedented. Obviously, everyone knows about the Global Seed Vault that he has been so responsible for. But as I was thinking about how to introduce a man of his character and quality, it occurred to me that this is a guy who has dedicated his life to preserving and enhancing capacity. Any problem that needs to be solved requires the capacity to do so. And so whether it's Gary Fowler, who understood the necessity of preserving the genetics of that which we rely on to feed ourselves, to ensure that if anything catastrophic were ever to happen around the world, that there would be an opportunity to reclaim our agricultural heritage by the preservation of crop varieties as a result of his seed vault. Or the work that he did recently in the State Department, where he traveled the world on behalf of the United States. And in doing so, essentially looked at the capacity of the people around the world who, while malnourished, if they could receive adequate nourishment, as he advocated for better food security for all, they would be able to reach their God-given potential. So to my way of thinking, this is a man whose introduction needs to include the notion that he is a preserver and enhancer of capacity, the capacity to grow, the capacity to reach your potential. And today, he will be moderating a discussion of those who have signed the laureate letter so that you learn a little bit more about the motivation behind it. So welcome to Root Awakening. Thank you for attending today, and I'm looking forward to the conversation